Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs over his rehab. Kawhi has only played 9 games this season with a quad injury. Reportedly, Kawhi and his camp are, quote, distant and disconnected from the organization right now. But Spurs general manager R.C. Buford said there is no issue. Skip, what's going on here?
Obviously, as a longtime Spurs fan, I am deeply troubled by this. I've talked about it briefly here on the show. I've tweeted about it a couple times over the last month, and now I'm going to hit it head on. And I want to frame it by asking everyone to remember the San Antonio Spurs organization treats players better when it comes to injury prevention and injury recovery than any organization in sports. Help me out here. If you know a better one, I don't know a better one. You can have the littlest bump or bruise, pops like, take 3 or 4 games off, right? Yep. Nobody gets rushed back. And the goal every year is that nobody should average more than 30 minutes a night. Lots of back-to-back rests for lots of the older players. So remember, this organization has been exceedingly patient with this situation. But here is the truth. San Antonio's team doctors, team trainers, can find nothing wrong with Kawhi Leonard's thigh. He's experiencing some sort of pain in it, and I'm not saying he isn't experiencing pain. They can't find anything wrong. So Kawhi, with their blessing, has sought outside second opinions from some of the best surgeons and physical therapists in the United States of America. Nobody can find anything wrong with Kawhi's thigh. There's no structural damage at the knee connection or in the hip. There's no soft tissue damage that anybody can find between the knee and the hip. They just can't find anything yet. Kawhi missed 27 games to start the year.
Correct.
He came back and played a couple and then would sit for a night. And he'd play one and sit and play one and sit. And he played 2 and sit. And he played very well. He looked pretty much like Kawhi Leonard. But the day after, again and again, he said he experienced more thigh pain. This is all-time mysterious to me. I've never seen anything quite like this in my career of covering sports. It's all-time baffling to the Spurs. They feel like they're bending over backward to be patient with him. He makes $19 million, so at some point you're saying, gee, can you try a little harder to get back? But it hasn't come to that point yet.
Right. You think he wants no contract?
I don't know, because he is quiet. He is distant. He can be completely disengaged. He can be mysterious and very difficult to read. He had a rough childhood. He's got some trust issues that we all brought from childhood. So he's a little bit paranoid about, are you trying to push me here too hard? You don't believe me. So the trust has dissolved to a certain extent. But this organization is still hanging in with patience. So bottom line, you know what they said, what was a week ago? You do it. God bless you. You go do it on your own. We're not going to push you to come back. No timetable. We're not going to tell the media anything. No, we don't even have a target date for you to get back. You go fix it on your own. You go heal your way, and you tell us when you're ready. That's where it is right now. And obviously, Kawhi Leonard is a supremely talented player. I think he's the best two-way player in the world. A lot of people were picking him to win MVP going into this season. Yep. I was hoping he would become the next Tim Duncan, not as the same player, but as a leader, as the face of the franchise. And obviously, this is really troubling for me because this just doesn't bode well for the future. I don't know exactly what's going on. I just know this is trouble.
I agree with everything you just said. I agree that this is the way they should handle it. Kawhi, if you need to go to Germany, you need to go to Switzerland, you go wherever you need to go. Because let me tell you, I don't know Kawhi, but just looking at him and just reading his body language, he's what they call an implosive personality. He holds everything inside. But when he goes, he goes. Now, he's the type of guy that says, I'm done with the Spurs. And when he said, if he ever says that, Skip, he will be done. Now, they're handling it the right way by saying, Kawhi, you come back. You get done what you need to get done. If you need to go to Zimbabwe, you need to go to Timbuktu.
You're right.
You need to go to China, go to Chinese medicine. Hey, as a matter of fact, go see TB12 doctor. Maybe he can heal you.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. I recommend that.
Whatever it is, Skip, Kawhi, you take as much time as you need. They understand what Kawhi is. They understand his personality. They know him better than you and I do from a distance.
They
They're
do.
trying to look at him from a distance. But I believe that with his personality and how he holds everything in, he will explode one day if they try and rush him. Just says, I'm done with the Spurs.
Yep.
And again, you're never gonna get value back for Kawhi Leonard because before he got hurt, he was a top 5 player. So you're never gonna get equal value back for him. But this is the only way you. And sometimes, Skip, coming back from injury is hard because am I gonna be the same? Will I ever be able to do the same things that I did before? I mean, maybe the slightest thing. And sometimes you have to push through it. He's not there yet. I can't tell what's going on in his
Well, this is
body.
where you just go into pure speculation, but I thought, gee, did he start feeling pressure going into the year because people are picking him to be the MVP, and he never saw himself as really that guy, and all of a sudden he's starting to imagine pain in his thigh just because the pressure, that maybe he's actually feeling something in his thigh, but it's more in your head than in your thigh. I don't know.
I mean, he tried to play through that ankle injury, Skip, and he tried to play through that, so he doesn't strike me as a guy that's not tough or not willing to fight through injury.
I agree.
But whatever it is, it's got to be deeper than his mind, Skip. It's got to be.
Yep. So how bizarre is this? Tony Parker against Memphis in last year's playoffs, right when it looked like they were peaking, right on time, he ruptures his quad, his quadriceps. He ruptures it. So I've asked doctor friends of mine, how often do you see a quad rupture? Rarely, they say, except in older men who are usually on some kind of blood thinner. Tony Parker, still later in his prime, but still, he was playing great. And he ruptures his quadriceps. Then he actually came back ahead of schedule. He's still iffy, and they demoted him the other night out of the starting lineup because he doesn't look like Tony Parker. But I'm saying, how weird is it? You have a quad rupture of a fairly young man, and then you have your superstar say, I have quad pain that nobody can find the source of.
Normally you see quad tears, Skip, and speed, explosive athletes, sprinters, will pull quad muscles because...
Pull it, but not ruptured. I've never heard of a rupture.
Well, I've seen one. I played with a guy that he ruptured his in college. He tore it completely out the bone. But he was a big, explosive athlete. But to see, Kawhi, obviously, to be elite, he's fairly explosive. But it's odd. But it's hard for me to believe that there's not something wrong with him. It's hard for me to believe that this.
Well, I know. I got it.
He's just imagining this. But I agree with the way the Spurs are handling it. Go wherever you need to go. See whoever you need to see.
Yep.
Hey, but go see TB12. What's it, Guerrero?
Yep. Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, whoever you need to see.
Well, bottom line, I want to congratulate LeBron James.
Yeah, you go, Skip. That's unnecessary.
Serious. There's no Kawhi, there's no Manu, there's no Rudy Gay, there's a half of Tony Parker. Congratulations.
What you congratulating us on, Skip?
Isn't he going to break the record tonight?
I don't know what you talking, Skip. Why are you doing that, Skip?
He's sure of it. He's sure he's making it.
Yeah, didn't he post something about that?
I don't know what he posted. I don't follow LeBron James. Let me see what he got over here.
Reggie Bush joins us next. We'll ask him who deserves the credit for the Patriots dynasty coming up.
What you posted, bro?